So dear students, so today our topic is digestive system. Okay, digestive system. It is mainly, as the name indicates, it is mainly helpful for the digestion of the food or process of the food. So regarding the digestion and absorptions of the food in the tract. So that tract was known as the gastrointestinal tract or alimentary canals. So where, so whatever you food we are took, so that was the complex in forms, but that food cannot be enter into the our blood or our body cannot be absorbed. Okay, so when that complex form of the food is converted into simpler form, so with the help of the digestive system, because the digestive system it consists of the various organ, so those are involved in the mechanical digestion, or with the help of the glands, so those are involved in the chemical digestion, as well as so those are involved in the enzymatic digestions. Okay, so due to that, so these digestive systems it's play an important role in the to convert the food particles into the smaller and smaller particles, a simpler form, so that simpler forms can be absorbed from the various site of the gastrointestinal tract or digestive systems or alimentary canal. So then only so they are enter in our body. Okay, some they are enter towards the liver. So where various process occurs, new protein can be synthesized by utilization of amino acids, or lipid can be synthesized, or cholesterol can be synthesized, or as well as the glucose can be metabolized for the productions of the energy. Okay, as well as the excess of the glucose or carbohydrates, so that was stored as the glycogen in the liver itself, but it is all biochemical process, so that was depending upon the supply of the nutritions, that was known as the micronutrients, because you whatever you were taken the food, so those are the macro means larger nutritions. Okay, starch is there, cellulose is there, then regarding proteins polypeptide is there, so regarding the fat lipids are there, cholesterol is there, but whatever lipids cholesterol you are taken from the source of animal food or plant food, so that lipid we do not require. Okay, our cholesterol is different and animal cholesterol was different, so that's why, so this system digestive system one of the important system, it was helpful for to complete the process of the food, and also it can allow the absorption of food, so then only so our body can be grow by utilizing the those micro nutrition, so then it was involved in the synthesis of the new compounds or new substances or biomolecule, so that was required for our body. So that is the one of the important functions of the digestive system. So digestive system is also involved in the removal of the waste material. So after digestion, after process of the food, some waste material can be generated, so that was excreted in the form of the feces as also. Okay, and as well as certain metabolites of the drugs or certain metabolites or waste material, so those are synthesized in our body, that is also excreted. And digestive system is also play important role of what body can require, so that cannot got from the dietary source. Okay, certain vitamins are there, certain lipids are there, certain amino acids are there, so that where they do not be got from the dietary sources, but those are supplied by the our digestive system, because of the large intestine is one of the parts of the digestive system, so that large intestine it can consist of the bacterial flora, so that bacterial flora it was helpful for the synthesis of the new compounds, so that was required for the body. So that's why certain substances, so they are required for our body, but we do not got from the food. So those are taken with the help of the large intestine or digestive system. So these are the one of the importance of the digestive system regarding the processing of the food for digestion and absorption, and as well as removal of waste material or synthesis of the new compounds, are continuously to supply the micronutrients for the body for development and growth of the body. So now we can go for regarding the introductions of the digestive system. So dear students, the digestive system is also known as the gastrointestinal tract, also written as the GIT. That is nothing but gastrointestinal tract, or the digestive system is also known as the alimentary canals. So what are the organs are there? So they are help for or involved in the digestion of food along with the gastrointestinal tract, and such organs are known as the accessory organs, accessory digestive organs. So what are the glands? So they are involved in the are helpful for the digestions of the food along with the digestive systems or GIT, and such glands are known as the accessory, that is the digestive glands. Okay, example is the salivary gland, pancreatic gland, as well as the intestinal gland. So these all are the accessory gland for the digestive systems. So they are helpful for the digestion of food. So that's why the digestive systems is mainly consist of the GIT or alimentary canal, and along with the accessory organs like a teeth, like a tongue. So these are all are the accessory organs, and as well as it can consist of the accessory certain glands. So those can secrete certain secretion, and those secretions was known as the digestive secretion. It was consist of rich of vehicle, that is the water, as well as certain enzymes and electrolytes. So those are required for the complete digestions of food, and as well as certain movements are present in the GIT. So those movement was helpful for the propulsions of the food from one place to the another place, and as well as mixing of the food and absorptions of the food. So regarding the digestive system definition, the digestive systems is mainly concerned with the process of digestion and absorptions of the food. It is a one of the process, or it is one of the important system. So that was helpful for the process of digestions and absorptions. And the process of digestion means the larger molecule or macromolecules are converted into simpler forms, or micronutrition. So that phenomena or process was known as the digestion. So after formations of simpler form from the GIT lumens, so they are enter into the our blood. Okay, so that process is known as the absorptions. For example, that is the conversions of starch into glucose. So our body, it was required the glucose, but it do not require starch. So whatever the food grains we are taken, what animal food we are taken, so they are containing starch. Starch is a polysaccharide, but that starch do not cross the wall of the lumens or wall of the GIT. So that's why do not enter into the blood. So with the help of this system, our digestive systems, it can undergo the processing system. So that's why the starch was converted into a glucose. So then the glucose can be absorbed, then it can enter into the circulation. From the circulation, it travels the different organs as well as in the liver. Okay, so regarding synonyms for the digestive systems, it is also known as the gastrointestinal tract and alimentary tracts. So regarding the terminology, so that is the GIT. It was mainly made up of the four layer. That is the mucus layer. It is the innermost layer. Okay, whatever the GIT is there. Suppose you think it is the GIT tract. Okay, suppose you think it is the esophagus or small intestine, anything. There is GIT tract. That is the first innermost layer. Okay, that is the facing the food or lumen. So that was known as the mucus layer. It is the first layer of the GIT tract, and this mucus layer, it was made up of the prostaglandin. That was the one of the local autokine that was known as the prostaglandins. So this prostaglandin, along with the mucin or secretion, it was forms the one layer around the GIT that was known as the mucus layer, and mucus layer is the protective layer for the GIT. It can protect our GI tract from the hydrochloric acid or acid, from the chemicals those are secreted from the GIT tracts or glands. So that's why The mucus layer, it was helpful for to protect our underlying GIT organs or GIT tract. So that mucus layer, it was made of the prostaglandins. If the prostaglandin was excess secretions, means it is the good for our GIT. But regarding our body or regarding our brain, it is synthesis will be the more, means we are suffering from the pain, we are suffering from the body pain, body ache, as well as head ache, and also we are suffering from the fever and inflammations. Okay, excess of prostaglandin that was secreted in the organs or brain, means then we are suffering from the fever, then we are suffering from the body pains or headache, then we are suffering from the inflammations. So on that time we can took the drug certain. So those are the paracetamol, that is the antipyretic drugs. Now it is the popular for treatment of fever during the COVID, or certain painkillers are there. Nimesulide, rofecoxib, celecoxib, diclofenac, mefenamic acid. Already heard the name, the mefenamic acid from the Meptal spas. So that was helpful for the treatment of the muscle cramps during the menstrual cycle. So that muscle cramps during the menstrual cycle is also occur due to over secretions of the prostaglandin in the GIT or in the smooth muscles. So due to that, the smooth muscles are contracted, then we having the pain in the menstrual cycle. So on that time we can take the certain medications. So those medications, they reduce the pain, they reduce the fever, so they treat the that is the inflammation by inhibiting the prostaglandins. Okay, so that's why, so unnecessarily if are taken the painkiller antipyretic drugs, means so they treat the fever, they treat the pain by inhibiting the prostaglandin. And another side, it also prevent the formations of mucus layer around the GIT tract. Then lack of mucus layer around the GIT, whatever secretions is secreted during the digestion, so that was exposed to the GIT, then we are suffering from the ulcer on the GIT, or gastric ulcer or peptic ulcer, due to lack of the mucus layer. So that is the importance of mucus layer. If it is normal, it is helpful for in the GIT, but in the other side it was involved in the cause of the pain, fever, and so that's why unnecessarily you should not go for to take the prostagland, that is inhibitors like a nimesulide, paracetamol. Many drugs are there, you don't take unnecessarily, otherwise they can relieve your body pain, but they can respond to cause of the peptic ulcer or gastric ulcer. So next one, that was the just below the mucus layer, so that was known as a submucous layer. It consists of various glands, so they are secretion, especially mucus into your GIT, so that was helpful for digestions. And this mucus layer, it can start from the esophagus. The submucous layer, it was starts from the esophagus and up to the anus. So after the mucus layer, the GIT or digestive system, it also consists of the muscular layer, especially the muscular layer, it was found in the lips as well as cheeks and the pharynx. The muscular layer, it is the hard layer. Okay, that was only seen in the lips, or that was only seen in our cheeks, or that was only seen in our pharynx. So the pharynx, cheeks, or lips, these are also accessory organs regarding the digestive system. So that's why the mucus layer, it was only found in the lips, cheeks, and as well as the pharynx. So next one is the serous or fibrous layer. So it is the outermost layer of the GI tract. Okay, it is present in the surface of the GI tract. It was helpful for the formations of the GI tract, or it can regulate the framework of the GI tract, and also it was helpful for to regulations of the certain movements. Certain movements are present in GIT tract, so that was regulated due to contraction and relaxations of the serous as well as the fibrous layers, and as well as it was inward as secretions of the various secretions. So these are the various layer. So they are uncovered or covered in the GIT, are present in the digestive tract or as well as the GIT. So next one we can go for regarding the digestion. So digestion is nothing but that is the process of the food. That is the conversions of larger particle into smaller particles. Example is a conversions of starch into glucose, or polysaccharide into disaccharide or monosaccharide, or lipids into free fatty acids, are proteins into amino acids. Proteins into amino acids, lipids into free fatty acids or triglyceride, or starch into glucose. So that larger particle can convert into smaller particle. So that process is known as a digestion. So here the digestions in our body. So there are mainly three types. One is the mechanical digestion. So there is no chemical. So there is no enzymes are involved. But were also the larger particle can converted into a small particles or micronutrition. Such process of digestion is known as a mechanical digestion. So mechanical digestion is nothing but it is the process or types of digestion. So where without any chemicals or enzyme the food can be processed or the food can be larger particle can converted into a smaller particle. So that phenomena was known as a mechanical digestion. So mechanical digestion is mainly occurs in the oral cavity. So in our oral cavity we having the teeth. So the crush of the food inside the teeth or between the teeth that was helpful for to convert large piece of food material into small pieces or micronutrition. So that is the mechanical digestion. There is no chemical involved. So there is no enzymes are involved, but still the large piece of food can convert into smaller forms. So that is the mechanical digestion. And as well as the mechanical digestion is occurs in the stomach. Okay, so due to certain GIT movement, so that can helpful for that to crush out the larger particles into smaller particles. In the stomach also we having certain movements, but main mechanical digestion it was occurs in the oral cavity. So next one is the that is the chemical digestion. Okay, once again it is a type of digestion process. Okay, so with the help of certain chemicals, okay, that is the vehicles. So the larger particle can converted into a smaller particles. So in the oral cavity with the help of saliva or mucus, that is water secretion in the saliva, that was helpful for chemical digestion, or especially in the stomach due to secretions of hydrochloric acid. So that was crush out or that was break the larger particle into smaller particle, and such digestion process is known as a chemical digestion. So regarding the third one, regarding the types of digestion, that was known as the enzymatic digestion. So with the help of enzymes, the larger particle can converted into a smaller particle, and such process of digestion is known as a enzymatic digestion. Example, in oral cavity the polysaccharide is converted into a disaccharide and glucose. So with the help of the enzyme, so that was known as the salivary amylase. So this salivary amylase secreted from the saliva in the oral cavity when you are start to chewing. Okay, even you can make the without food you can make the movement of chewing. So then also your mouth it got the saliva, that was beneficial to neurosis they were your oral cavity, and as well as it keep the away the dryness of the our mouth, and also it is acts as the certain antibacterial activity. Okay, so that's why the saliva secretes certain enzymes. So those are helpful for the digestion, and that process was known as the enzymatic digestion. Saliva mainly secrete the salivary amylase as well as salivary lipase. So both they are helpful for the breakdowns of polysaccharide into disaccharide and larger lipid into smaller lipid. And enzymatic digestion it is also occurs in the stomach with the help of the gastric secretions. So enzymatic digestion it is also occurs in the small intestines with the help of the secretion came from the pancreatic gland or intestinal gland as well as the gallbladder. So they consist of the various secretions along with the enzymes. So those are helpful for the digestions of the all type of the food, including fiber, including lipids or carbohydrates, proteins, lipids, many are minerals. So they are digested or and as well as absorbed in the small intestine due to secretion came from the pancreatic gland, gallbladder or small intestinal glands. So that was helpful for the process of the food in small intestine. So that's why the enzymatic digestion is also occurs in the small intestine as well as in the large intestine. So whatever the digestion occurs or the larger particle can contribute to smaller particle. So in the presence of the certain enzymes, so that process was known as a that is the enzymatic digestion. So regarding the nerve supply to the our digestive system, so those can regulate the secretions into the GIT tract, helpful for digestion, as well as certain movement they can initiate that was helpful for the propulsions of the food or movement of food from stomach to the small intestine, large intestine, then anus. So with the help of the certain nerves, and those nerves they are mainly categorized into intrinsic nerve supply as well as the extrinsic nerve supply. So these nerve, so their control system is present in the CNS or present in the brain. So brain can control the digestive functions regarding the secretion, digestion, movement of food, as well as absorptions of food. So with the help of the certain nervous system, so those nervous systems are known as the intrinsic nerve system and extrinsic nerve system or nerve supply. So intrinsic nerve system, it consists of the, or it was regulated by the enteric nerve system. So the hormone is a, or neurotransmitter is a 5-HT. So this 5-HT is the neurotransmitter for enteric nervous system. It can regulate the secretions of GIT or secretion of the digestive juice in the GIT as well as movement. That is the brain. It can give the signal to the these nerve. So with the help of the 5-HT. So that's why the 5-HT are also known as the serotonin is the neurotransmitters for enteric nervous system. If enteric nervous system activate means, so this 5-HT was released. So this it can enhance the secretions in the GIT as well as movement of GIT. And here students, the 75% of the digestive function are GIT function, so that was regulated by enteric nervous system. Only 25% of the GIT function, so that was depending upon the extrinsic nerve supply, that is the autonomic nervous system, that is with the help of the parasympathetic and sympathetic, or with the help of the acetylcholine or noradrenaline. So these are neurotransmitters for autonomic nervous system. So this autonomic nervous system is also helpful for to regulate the digestive secretion as well as the movement of the GI tract. But the 75%, so that was regulated by the enteric nervous system by a 5-HT. If the 5-HT level in the brain is more means, then the person was suffering from the psychosis. And during the psychosis, the gastric hurrying is occurs. Gastric hurrying means immediately the stomach can empty. After taken the more food, within few seconds, few minutes, the stomach is empty. Once again, you can feel the to take the food. So that was known as the gastric hurry. This is the one of the sign and symptoms of the psychosis. Okay, even in the if you got the more that is the food or due to gastric empty mean, that was one of the sign and symptoms of the abnormal of the CNA due to 5-HT. Okay, so that was 5-HT is helpful for the empty of the gastric gland and secretion and digestion. So these are the nervous system. So that was regulate the functions of the JT or JT functions. So that was depending upon the so these nervous system. So now we can go for the organs of digestive system. So dear students, already you learn from the practicals. Already I told regarding the digestive organ system, it was mainly divided into two parts, or organs can categorize into two parts, that is the primary digestive organ and as well as the accessory digestive organ. So regarding the primary digestive organ, that is the mouth, it is the first organs of the digestive system. Then pharynx, pharynx is the organ, it is comes under both respiratory system as well as the digestive system. Then the esophagus, then stomach, small intestine, large intestine, rectums, anal canal and anus. So these are the 9 main primary digestive organs. So those are helpful for the digestions of the food and as well as the absorptions of the food matter. So regarding the accessory digestive organs are the teeth, then the tongue, salivary gland, gastric gland, as well as exocrine part of the pancreatic gland, liver, and gallbladder. So these are the accessory digestive organs are gland. So they are helpful for the primary digestive organs for digestions of the food as well as absorptions of the food. So the like that the organs of digestive systems, they are mainly categorized into two types. One is the primary digestive organs and another one is the accessory digestive organ. So now we can learn one by one. The first one is the mouth. So dear students, the mouth is also known as a buccal cavity or oral cavity. It is formed by a cheeks as well as lips and as well as the palate bone, that is the upper roof of the oral cavity of your oral cavity or buccal cavity. So that was the made of the palate bone. Okay, whatever the harder surface is there that above bone, that was known as the palate. So with the help of the palate, cheeks and lips, our oral cavity can be made. And oral cavity is also known as a buccal cavity or mouth. Okay, so the oral cavity or mouth, it mainly encloses the teeth, tongue as well as salivary gland. So the teeth and tongue and salivary gland. So these are the accessory organs or accessory digestive organs. They are helpful for the digestions of the food in the oral cavity in the mouth. And digestive system, that is the digestive juice or secretion. So that was secreted in the oral cavity. So that was known as a saliva. So saliva, it is the digestive secretions or juice. So that was present in the oral cavity. So that was helpful for the digestions of the food in the oral cavity. Especially the lipophilic drugs or acidophilic drugs. So they are mainly absorbed in the oral cavity due to pH of the oral cavity. It was the less than the 7, or it was the acidic, slightly acidic pH. It is around 6 to 7. So due to that in nature, the lipophilic drug as well as acidic drugs or acidic food, acidic lipophilic food, so they are absorbed in the oral cavity. And with the help of the saliva or salivary amylase, salivary lipase, the carbohydrates and as well as the lipids, so they are digested in the oral cavity. So regarding the function, the digestive system, that is especially the oral cavity, it was helpful for the ingestions of the food material. It is the first organ through which only we can intake the food material. The intake of the food material is our nutrition, that was known as the ingestions of the food, or it is a opening of the GIT tract that can allow the entry of the food into the or that is the digestive tract. And the that oral cavity, it is also helpful for chewing and as well as mixing of the food with the saliva. So with the help of the tongue, okay, with the due to the movement of the tongue, so that was helpful for to mix the food with the saliva. So that mixing is helpful for the enzymatic digestions, or that was helpful for the mechanical digestion. So that's why the oral cavity, it's also helpful for chewing and mixing the food with the saliva. And as well as the oral cavity, so it was helpful for to transport the food. There is a bolus. Bolus is nothing but that is chyme, smooth food materials. So with the crush by the teeth, then after that with the help of tongue and saliva, it mix with the saliva, then it become the smooth food materials. Okay, that was helpful for easy to the ingestion. So that smooth food material, processing material is known as the bolus. And here the oral cavity, it was helpful for the transfer of the bolus to the esophagus for further swallowings. Okay, then as well as the oral cavity is helpful or involved in the appreciations of the taste. Okay, the tongue, it can consist of the various taste receptors, and those are helpful for to detections of the taste of the food or material, so that can enter in the oral cavity. And as well as the oral cavity, it was play an important role in the speech. The speech is possible due to oral cavity. It can resonate the speech. Okay, it can rhythm the speech, it can correct the speech. Okay, so that is the role of the oral cavity with the help of the teeth and tongue and box of the oral cavity that was play an important role in the speech. And as well as the oral cavity, it was involved in the social functions such as that is a smiling and expression, and many other expressions are there, sad expression, smiling expressions, happy expression. So these are all are due to only oral cavity. Okay, so these are that's why the oral cavity, so that is also involved in the regulations of the social functions regarding the smiling and as well as the expressions. So next one, that is the pharynx. So it is the also known as the throat. So it is the organ, it was compromised or present in the both system, digestive as well as the respiratory system. The pharynx in the digestive system, it is responsible for the passage of the food masses from oral cavity into the esophagus. Nothing will be happens in the pharynx. No food can be digested and no food can be processed. There is no chemical digestion, so there is no mechanical digestion, so there is no enzymatic digestion. So that was taken plus in the pharynx. But pharynx, it was provide the passage or channels for movement of the bolus or food or chewed food from oral cavity into the esophagus. That is one of the functions of the pharynx. The regarding esophagus, so esophagus is the muscular tube that is also only involved in the transfer of the food or bolus from pharynx into the stomach, but there is no enzyme secretion is there, so there is no chemical digestions, mechanical digestions, there is no enzyme digestion. It is only, it acts as a channel. So regarding the length, the esophagus is around 25 centimeter and an average. Okay, so that is acts as the channels for movement of the food from oral cavity into the our stomach. So next one, that is the further organs are there. Okay, that is the stomach, small intestine, large intestine, salivary gland, gastric gland, exocrine parts of the pancreas, liver, and gallbladder. Okay, in the forthcoming lecture, okay, we can discuss one by one regarding the anatomy, physiology of stomach and how the gastric secretion occurs in the stomach, as well as we can learn, we can study regarding the anatomy, physiology of the small intestine as well as the large intestine, then salivary gland, gastric gland, pancreatic gland, liver, and gallbladder. But that was we can completed or studied in the forthcoming classes. So that is the teeth. So they are present in the oral cavity. So these are the accessory digestive organ. The teeth, it was helpful for the mechanical digestion food in the oral cavity. And these teeth, they are mainly classified into two types. Temporary teeth, whatever the teeth they are present in the childhood up to the age of 10 years or some age is there. After that, can they can fall down. Then the new teeth are occurs. So those are known as the permanent teeth. So the temporary teeth, so there are 20 numbers both in the upper cavity and lower cavity. And regarding the permanent teeth, so they are the 32 in numbers. So regarding temporary teeth, they are subclassified into incisor, canine, and molars. Regarding permanent teeth, they having incisor, canine, molars, and premolars. So like that, they are the 32 in number, the permanent teeth in the adulthood and in the childhood. So they are the temporary teeth. They do not contain the premolar teeth. So those are known as the temporary teeth. So next one, so we can go for regarding the functions of the digestive system. So the digestive systems, it's play an important role in ingestions of food, then as well as secretions of fluid and digestive enzymes. Okay, the fluids regarding the saliva, then gastric juice, intestinal juice, pancreatic juice, even the bile. So that bile was helpful for the lipid metabolism. The pancreatic juice is helpful for the metabolism proteins and as well as the carbohydrates, and as well as it can maintain the pH of the intestines. Okay, because the pancreatic juice is consists of rich of sodium bicarbonate, so that was helpful for to maintain the basic pH of the small intestine. But in the stomach, we secrete the gastric secretion, so that is consist of hydrochloric acid. So due to secretions of hydrochloric acid, the stomach pH is the acidic, and due to secretions of pancreatic juice, the small intestine environment is the basic. Okay, so that's why the digestive systems is was play an important role in the secretions of the fluids. Then also it was helpful for the mixing and moving of food and removal of the waste material from the body, and as well as it is helpful to digest the food into a smaller pieces, and also the digestive system is helpful for the absorption of nutrition and as well as excretions of the waste material in the form of the feces. Mainly the digestive system, so it was helpful for the digestions of the proteins as well as the digestions of carbohydrates, digestions of the lipids, digestions of the nucleic acids, digestions of the DNA and RNA genetic materials from the plant source, and as well as they are helpful for the digestion of the food material, including so they are helpful for the absorption. So after the digestion, certain waste materials are produced